Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. So, folks, we've got a lot of breaking news today, much of it regarding the Bob Woodward, Robert Costa book called Peril and the responses to it. Now, yesterday, at least on this show, we took the view generally that if General Milley had, in fact, spoken to his Chinese counterpart, General Lee, without any knowledge of the commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, that General Milley would be subject to forced resignation or dismissal. Some people even whispering treason. Now, today we learned from General Milley's office that he did, in fact, hold those calls with his Chinese counterpart, one before the election and one right after the January 6th episode. So, of course, that answered a key question and advanced the story. Was it true? According to General Milley, the Woodward-Costa book was, in fact, true. And therefore, the story moves ahead of where we were last night. Now it becomes more complicated. I get that. And we're going to explore that on the show. We're going to have to take some time out and explore it during this show. Former Energy Secretary Rick Perry, who was someone deeply involved in national security matters during his tenure. He's also a former Texas governor and also a former captain in the U.S. Air Force. He will join me in a moment or two to discuss what I'm going to call the Milley situation. But the Milley situation now encompasses President Biden, former President Trump, and a number of former defense and national security officials as well. Like I said, it's getting very complicated. Now, let's switch back for a moment to the easy stuff, which is a set of Biden administration budget policies that will inflict huge damage on the economy. As I said, this is the easy and straightforward stuff, because I know it's all wrong. Before we get too analytical about these budget policies, let me just say to all of you, let's save America and kill the bill. Now, advancing this story today, a new set of scorecard estimates from the Joint Tax Committee of Congress that, among other things, shows the middle class will, in fact, pay higher taxes as a result of issues like the corporate tax hike and the child tax credit, capital gains, and others as well. And when our ace Washington policy pal Dan Clifton comes around, I know he wants to talk about the SALT deduction. Remember SALT? SALT is state and local tax deduction, which was strictly limited in the Trump tax cuts, but Mr. Clifton believes they're going to reappear magically on the floor of the House, and expansion of that SALT deduction will be essential to the passage of the whole reconciliation bill. Now, mind you, I don't want to pass the bill. Need I repeat? Save America, kill the bill. Oh, yeah, one more point. There's a story I've been dying to do for weeks with Wall Street Journal editor and columnist James Freeman. Joe Biden taking care of his friends. Among his friends are federal government employee unions, where he's almost doubling their expected pay increase. Now, this is a wonderful story. Mind you, on a comparable basis, federal workers already make far more than their counterparts in the private sector, have vastly greater benefits, and unlike private sector job holders, the federal workforce folks never get fired, right? But Mr. Biden wants to take care of his friends, so we're going to discuss it later in the show with the aforementioned James Freeman. And then finally, Steve Moore and Nancy Tengler, they're going to tell us about the state of the economy and the stock market with all this swirling around. Hint, hint, by the way, I think the pandemic inflation is easing, and we had very strong numbers today on manufacturing and business equipment spending, very strong. But inflation is still too high, and we sure don't need another $6 trillion of federal spending with no work incentives whatsoever, and we sure don't need a massive $3 trillion tax hike that will throw a wet blanket over our recovering economy. My second hint, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. My third hint, a smart Congress would make the Trump tax cuts permanent. And my last hint, let's save America and just kill the bill.